Now for A6. Okay. A6 is to create a rock, paper, scissors game where you play against the computer. So it's not player versus player, it's player versus computer. So it has to have some intelligence there. There should be at least one custom function used in the code. The game should go through 3 rounds. So you do rock, paper, scissors, right? You guys know the rules of this game, I assume. Maybe that's a weird assumption, but you could always Google it. And it should declare a winner after either the player or the computer wins 2 rounds. Now, this is a little tricky. It should go it could potentially go more than 3 rounds, because if you both choose rock or you both choose paper or scissors and it's a tie, it may take additional rounds to decide the winner. But basically, the first person to win 2 is the winner. So it's best 2 out of 3, but that may require more rounds. After the winner is declared, it should ask if the user wants to play another game. So what functions should we create for a rock, paper, scissors game? When you're thinking about this, when you're trying to pull a program apart and sort of envision what you want to do, and thinking about what functions would be useful, it sometimes helps to think about the different actors in your program. In this case, there are 2 actors in the game, maybe 3, right? There's the computer, and then there's the user, and maybe a third party, right? A judge that says either you won or the computer won. So each one of those actors could be representative of a function in this case. For the user, there are a couple of things that you want to do. You want to, number one, get their guess, rock, paper, or scissors. And then the second thing is you want to clean up their input. Because are they going to type rock in all uppercase, all lowercase? Are they going to just type R? What are they going to do? How can we make sure that most of the reasonable things that they type come out to something that we could compare with whatever the computer comes up with? So we want to get their guess, we want to clean up their input. That could be a function, right? The function maybe takes no parameters and returns an R, a P, or an S, depending on what the user chose. The computer player, again, no input there. What the computer player needs to do is randomly choose an R for rock, a P for paper, or an S for scissors. It needs to be something that's consistently able to be compared with what the user says. In my mind, the easiest thing to do is lowercase r, p, or s, and lowercase r, p, or s. So now I know exactly what I need to give to the judge. The judge says, you give me an R and you give me a P. I'm going to take those 2 inputs and I'm going to use logic to tell you if it was a tie, or if it wasn't a tie, then who won. Okay? So the output is who won. And then I can use that to say, okay, the user scored 1 point, or the computer scored 1 point, or nobody scored a point. The interesting thing about rock, paper, and scissors is that there are 3 different choices, and it's impossible to rank them. Like, it's not, I can say if R is greater than S, right? We have to figure out who won in each scenario. So if the user chooses rock, the computer could choose one of 3 different things. They could choose rock, paper, or scissors, and each one of those gives a different answer. If the user chooses rock, the computer chooses rock, it's a tie. If the user chooses rock and the computer chooses paper, the computer wins. if the user chooses rock and the computer chooses scissors, then the user wins, right? And so there are 9 different possible combinations, 3 times 3, that you have to account for in which one of those things happen. But there's a shortcut where you don't actually have to account for all 9, because anytime where the user and the computer choose the same thing, that's already, we already know it's a tie. It doesn't matter what they chose. If they're the same, then it's a tie. So that leaves us, aside from the tie, only 6 different scenarios to deal with.